Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of the second reproduction, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start.
それにしても彼女はまるで
人のようか。
ええ
果たして人は物差しに足りうる存在だろうか。
姫様、それはどういう。
But before Lezette could finish his sentence, I stopped walking and looked into his eyes. I had to raise my head to do so, making me realize once again just how much he'd grown. But I felt so glad that he was still by my side, still gazing back at me. His voice, which had once only reached me through stained glass, sounded close and in reach. But I can't say for sure this isn't a dream. I scanned my surroundings, checking every nook and cranny of the hallway. The scars on the stone walls, the candle holder over there, the length of the shadow that stretched down the hallway. I knew all of them. It was too dark last night for me to see them properly, but I could recognize them in an instant.
姫様、
人ができることなどたかが知れている。時には慢心し、おごり高ぶり、一番大切なものすら見失う。
Am I going insane, or is someone trying to trick me? Well, whatever it is, I just need to stay calm and keep an eye out. My mother told me once that those who lose their hearts always come back stronger, and that couldn't have been more appropriate right now. I had no idea if Mother had ever gone through what I had, but after going through such agony, I wasn't afraid of anything anymore.
てい、
いった。
I tapped my knuckle against Lezette's forehead.
何するんですか。
人の言うことを聞かないからだ。
俺なんか逆らったっけ。
I walked quickly, leaving Lezette behind as he tilted his head in confusion. Giving a weak smile as I walked, I decided not to worry about the mumbling sounds he was making as he tried to work out what just happened. I briefly closed my eyes and whispered as I opened them again.
今度こそ共に生きよう、レセト。
I wanted to protect the precious person beside me, and that wish never changed. But be it dream or reality.
遅かったな。懐かしき名を継ぎし勇者よ。
Gardas spread his arms out dramatically. On both sides of the red carpet between us and the Demon Lord stood two lines of strong men. It was exactly the same as last time, only my heart was different. Gardas. The supposedly evil, merciless Demon Lord was standing before me, but I knew he was really a kind, brave, and determined king. He cared about his people more than anything. I wanted to scream at him to stop acting all aloof and just be the nice guy he really was. But I knew he'd just think I was crazy. We were enemies right now, after all. I only arrived yesterday, and I came for the sole purpose of killing him. And now I need him to remove Lezette's ring, so I mustn't act carelessly or he'll get suspicious. As my heart ached from the dilemma, Gardas declared something to the crowd with a voice fit for a king.
皆に命ずる。この勇者を殺めることは何人たりとも許さん。
Yes, my lord.
では、お前たちはもう下がってよいぞ。
Please excuse us. The men hesitated at first, but they all soon bowed their heads obediently to their lord. As I watched them leave the room, I desperately tried to think of something to say to Gardas.
どういうつもりだ。
In the end, I chose a reaction he would have expected.
これでより暗殺がしやすくなっただろ、勇者殿。
大人というものは大概玩具の扱いが下手だ。誤って指先を傷つけることもある。
たかが十数年生きただけの小娘が偉そうに。
長く生きていればいいというわけでもないだろ。
それもそうだな。
I watched Gardas as he closed his eyes, wearing an unusually gloomy look on his face. Then he suddenly noticed my gaze, becoming startled for a brief moment, but then he waved his hand, implying that he was just fooling around. Now that I thought about it, Gardas must have been reminded of all of the cruelty he'd seen in his long life. His lifespan was several times longer than a human's, so all the pain and sorrow he had experienced over a lifetime was far heavier on his heart. He'd been king for longer than most human rulers as well, so the suffering he'd experienced was unimaginable. Gardas, you must have seen so much in that long life of yours. So much pain and suffering.
Lord Gardas!
何事だ
A pale demon suddenly ran into the room, interrupting our conversation. He was sweating heavily, and his clothes looked dirty and disheveled. Tragedy has befallen the West Borders yet again, Your Highness.
Tragedy has befallen the West Borders yet again, Your Highness. By fault of the champions, Lord Rayville has rushed to the scene and things have settled down for the moment. But if this continues, we may have to bring the villagers to the capital.
わかった。その件はお前に任せる。私も後で様子を見に行こう。
Yes, my lord.
After accepting his orders, the man gave a courteous bow. As he left, I caught a glimpse of his determined expression. He seemed totally different to the pale man he was just a few moments ago. I could understand why now. Gardas was the king who did everything he could to protect his kingdom, and the people trusted and respected him for that.
行くのか。
ああ。寂しい思いをさせてすまないな。
ならば私も連れて行け。
え？
Neither Gardas nor Lezette had expected that, and they both stiffened up in shock. Realizing that I'd probably just said something I shouldn't have, I quickly added,
あのキリアという女性にしても、他の者の反応にしても、私たちが教えられてきた魔族とはかけ離れた印象を受ける。故に私は、真の平和を目指す勇者として、お前たち魔族の実態を調査する必要がある。
It wasn't very convincing at all, and Gardas looked at me with eyes full of suspicion.
昨夜、魔王である私を倒しに来た者のセリフとは思えんな。それとも、私が視察している間の隙を狙おうというのか。
玩具が必要なほど退屈なのだろう。ならば少しの間くらい、その緊張感を楽しんでみてはどうだ。
期待にたがわず面白い娘だ。良いだろう。お前たちも来い。
ああ、そうさせてもらう。
姫様、これはどういう。
すまない、レセト。お前の言いたいことはよくわかるが、今は私の思う通りにさせてくれないか。
I had to gain Gardas's trust as soon as possible, so he'd remove Lezette's ring. And the best way to do that would be to show empathy and help the demons.
頼む。
姫様がそう望まれるのなら、
いいのか？
俺が姫様のお願いを断れると思いますか？どんなところであろうと、神明を賭してお供いたします。
お前の命などいらん。
え？
誓うのならば、もっと別の言葉にしてくれ。真に私のためを思うのならば、私のそばから離れるな。
姫様。
盛り上がっているところを悪いが、出発するぞ。
盛り上がってなど。
そのように胸焼けを覚えるような甘い空気を漂わせておいて何を言う。昨夜は違うと思ったが、すでに恋人同士であったとはな。
無礼なことを言うな。俺と姫様が恋人なわけないだろ。
そうだ。お前は私と恋人同士になるのは不名誉だというのか。
滅相もございません。いえ、むしろ嬉しいです。いえ、これは。
はは。なんとも初々しい恋人たちだな。
cute. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.